しくて苦しくて飛ばしてしまったあなたの優しさはもういない泣き果てて泣き果てて初めて愛の意味を知るまた必ず私を見つけて待ちわびながら巡り合う喜びを託そう泣き果てて泣き果てて初めて愛の意味を知るその心臓は愛しさに愛しさに何度でも息をするだろう白い羽が
Good evening and welcome back to my dwarven fortress of Esmulrakust in the mountains where the zombies are still at the gates, but like that's the best place for them to be really. I think they are. Where are they? Where are the zombies hiding? Are they busy falling out of trees or something? Okay, yes, they're mostly actually in the forest and not quite at the gates. Our defences are mostly holding, except for this unfortunate cat who has been... no, that's not... this unfortunate cat, which has been killed by the zombies. And yes, as I am being reminded, we have, as probably our most urgent thing, our bookkeeper fled from the zombies and bricked themselves into this small cupboard up here, and is now hungry and dehydrated. So I think our highest priority is rescue them. Now, obviously, we don't want to send a rescue party outdoors, so the way we are going to have to rescue them is by digging a tunnel up through the mountain into their hidey hole. Ideally, we want to do this in a way that doesn't leave this tunnel like compromising the security of the fortress. Because if we just go straight up from somewhere over here, then that tunnel will be a way into the back of the fortress, which feels kind of unfortunate. So I think what I want to do, and this is going to be kind of awkward, so I'm slightly uncertain, is to run it up from somewhere inside the Barbican. And then, but then it's going to have to go horizontally across the top, across the mountain, all the way over to somewhere over here, which is going to be, it's going to be quite a lot of digging. Maybe I do just do it from somewhere sensible and then like fill it with reinforced walls when we're finished or something. Or lava. Or water. No, I feel safer doing it from out here, and I think we'll. It's just no. I think we've got the time. We've got some good miners. Like our miners are legendary, so I don't think it'll take very long. Let's try it and see how it goes. So I think we can just build a staircase up. I kind of like to do it from somewhere that will then only be conveniently accessible if this bridge is down. But the problem is that that requires the bridge to be built, and it isn't yet, and I don't want to wait for that. So I think we are going to go up from somewhere in this corner. Actually, no, that'll do. So we don't want to emerge through the surface. Then I think we can just tunnel horizontally to somewhere round there. And then we like do a narrow diagonal tunnel for maximum efficiency. Slightly wondering if we take this by a different route so that it's slightly harder to use it to get into the top of the fortress, but like we're always going to be going over this temple, so... well, I suppose actually what we should do therefore is go higher as soon as we have the clearance. To get higher, we should go higher. So like at about this point actually, we should go up another Z level. Because that way we'll be getting further and further from the fortress. Then we dig another horizontal tunnel to somewhere around there. Where is it that we're aiming for? We need to actually be heading. So that's where we want to be. What I should do probably is to start drawing it in from this end as well. That actually makes it much easier to do. Except that I might go too far north like this. No, there's no danger I'm going to go too far north like this. Slightly, oops, tedious, but... So essentially my kind of aim here is that we treat this as much as possible as being outside the fortress. It's only inside the fortress in that zombies can't get at it. any competent siege engineer would be able to break into this tunnel, but then they would find themselves at the outside end of the Barbican, which is like not a very helpful place to be. It's better than being elsewhere, being outside the main gate, but we only have to make it slightly awkward to reuse this tunnel in order for it to be unhelpful to them. At least that's the idea. Right. So that means that we need to, in particular, open up the inner end of the Barbican so we can let some miners in there. No, we don't want to dig it. That's nice. Oh yes, maybe I should be watching my log files as well, shouldn't I? Let me do that. Let's unpause and see what happens. Okay, maybe that was a bit optimistic. Okay, so now I can see what's going on even better. Right, excellent. And what that tells me is that we are running out of fruit and we're improving shell cabinets. So that should now be accessible. What are my miners up to? Okay, they're all slightly busy. Maybe I should have made this really high priority mining. So I think that does actually affect how important they see it relative to other tasks they might be doing. This, of course, assumes it is actually possible to mine that. I suppose actually, why am I doing it from there rather than from here, just inside the drawbridge? That's much more sensible. Obviously accessible. Doesn't require making so many stairs. Doesn't do such weird things to my layout. I just need, oh, we need to add it to. We could just turn off now the burrow, couldn't we? Pause that burrow, because actually we don't need to lock everyone in. Actually, that feels dangerous. That feels dangerous. Let's turn the burrow back on, but remove the miners from it. Right, that's better. What? Esmulrakust, dwarf presser, frozen hunter, is visiting. We have a visitor, though they appear to be undead. I mean, differently undead.
Which one of them is undead? The visitor or the person?
The visitor.
Right.
Esmulrakust, dwarf presser, frozen hunter, is an intelligent undead, hence being a frozen hunter. Is an adequate presser. And is like peacefully coming to visit my fortress. Sadly, we're in the middle of a siege. Maybe they'll kill all of the zombies for me. Who knows?
This
don't know. Probably not. But they're here whether I like it or not, so... Well, at least digging this nice long tunnel is satisfying. So what's our frozen hunter up to then? They're standing around on the hillside being confused, it looks like. Right on the edge of the map going, how do I get into this fortress? I'm afraid the answer at the moment is you don't. Olin Della Tangak Presser has created Suvasidor, a bauxite mug. He offers it to the incidental fortification. Is this our second artifact mug?
I like what's nice
Yes.
about the mug. It looks like an owl.
So our first one was Chuck Trap the Church of Feed. Our new one is called Luster Howl.
Wow.
This is a bauxite mug. All craft dwarf ship is of the highest quality. It is studded with silver and decorated with kumquat wood. This object menaces with spikes of bauxite.
Was that the fell blues that I heard on the way home?
Yes. Okay. Seb asks, what's a presser? What did he dedicate it to? He dedicated it to us, our civilization, or our local government, I think. The incidental fortification is, if I recall correctly, the site government of Esmulrakust. A presser is someone who's good at pressing things, obviously.
In the sense of a cider press or a flour press or...
In the sense of a thing that squishes things together, which is usually used for, which can be used for pressing lots of things. In Dwarf Fortress, usually, what was there? Honeycombs to get honey out. Mashed seeds in order to get oil out of them. Olives to get oil out of them. I mean, milled seeds to get oil out of them. Milled nuts, kind of. Not always nuts, and squishing wood pulp in order to make paper, which I'm not sure is how you make paper. Why do you say we have struck lignite? Lignite, my dear game. Where did we strike lignite?
Belgium, man, Belgium.
Oh, somewhere down in the caverns, apparently, or near the caverns, where we've been mining hematite. As a thing that we conveniently found while we were actually looking for copper ores, but unfortunately copper ores don't seem to be nearly as common as iron ores, which I think is probably true in the real world, so I shouldn't complain very much. Yes, well, you can come back and mine that. Like, we do like some nice gems. But those are a lower priority than rescuing someone. Kia is still somehow stealing things. So meanwhile, what else do we want to do? We want to build more weapon traps, don't we? because if we're going to try to make this barbican useful for killing these zombies, we are ideally going to do so entirely by remote, well, not really control, but by them repeatedly walking into an enormous number of maces. There might be more maces that we can sensibly use, but whatever.
Bowl of porridge. Is that your digging?
Yes. Right, good. No, that's not a problem. That's not actually a human swordsman. That's the human swordsman corpse who is probably falling out of a tree. It's slightly strange that the major cause of damage to zombies here is zombies falling out of trees.
You'd think they'd learn by going
No.
intelligent.
Yes.
You should see Pig Beast's alternative definition of
Yes.
cancer, which is also accurate and unfortunate.
This is autumn. There is a danger that a dwarven caravan is going to show up soon.
Can you put a note out that says "Come back next time"?
Next time we're busy dealing with zombies.
Or
I
do
don't.
They just walk into your siege and cause havoc.
I think there's a danger that they're just going to get slaughtered by the zombies.
Okay, right. I mean, if they can't work out to keep lookouts and go, maybe let's not go to that fortress. It looks like it's covered in zombies. Well, they're going to have the.
I mean, if possibly they might turn up, notice that it's impossible to get into the fortress, and immediately leave.
Well, hopefully, if they can do that without too many casualties, that's fine. Otherwise, they get to have the normal life expectancy of someone who doesn't pay attention to zombies. It is quite a short one.
I think this zombie has fallen out of a tree 3 times.
Are you sure it's not a dwarf?
No, the dwarves stay in the trees. That's the problem.
Well, it's a dwarf zombie. I mean,
Yes. So yes, it is a dwarf.
But it's an ex-dwarf. But it is not yet sadly ceased to be.
Oh, of course, no one else is allowed into the Barbican at the moment, are they? Right. Let's temporarily extend that burrow to include the Barbican, because I don't think that's going to be very dangerous. Oh, did that actually work when I pressed escape? Yes. Our trapped bookkeeper has not yet starved to death, so things are still looking plausible. There is still a decent amount of rock to go through before we get there. Oh dear, that miner has got tired. Okay, is someone else going to come and do some digging then? I did exempt all of you from the restriction on leaving the main body of the fortress.
Let's speak things now, and it does sound very silly, whether it's not started each of them on a new line. The first one wraps around, the second one starts after on the second line. That's actually confuse everyone.
Let me just do make this the highest priority thing again. Oh, good. Here comes someone. You're not a legendary miner yet, are you? You're our least good miner. You're a master miner, so you're not going very much slower. So it looks like our visitor has at least not got into a fight with all of our other undead. They're just hanging around, apparently unconcerned. Not very far to go now. Okay, it is quite a long way. Hi, Master Miner, getting faster. I'm quite nervous about this. Oh, he's died.
Yeah.
I left it too late. How sad.
You now need to retrieve his corpse for burial so that he doesn't haunt the everything.
Yeah, go on, let's do that. After all, we don't know yet. We were not quick enough.
You say you don't know yet. You mean
Well, the dwarves don't know yet.
right, yes.
The slight problem is that all of our graves are on the surface, are outside, largely in order to avoid embarrassments with zombies. But
Definitely, this will lead to different embarrassments for zombies.
so let us make a couple of rock coffins. I think we may be running short of tetrahedrite. So what we need, one thing we need to do is anywhere that might get used as a bolt hole needs to have a small stash of food and drink in it. Well, strictly died of thirst, yes.
Okay, right, good. Right, you know, good in the sense that that's more plausible in a way.
We don't seem to have turned up in the room. As in, the down staircase doesn't seem to have got made into a staircase. Surely we can dig a staircase upwards into a room. Maybe I should just dig a ramp because I know that those work. The corpse has not yet been discovered because no one has actually entered the room. I think I'm just going to turn off that burrow temporarily and hope no one does anything really stupid. Because they shouldn't be able to escape. And then actually, yes, what we want to do is to dig a small hole in the wall. No, wrong button. A small hole in that wall there that we are going to use as a grave. Hang on, what? Again, we have an upward ramp here, but it's unusable because the floor above it won't vanish. Okay, let's try a different route again. Let's make an upward staircase into like the solid rock. There. Hang on, let's delete the... See if that works. Because we seem to have a problem. Yes, I know he's been missing for a week. He's been missing a lot longer than a week, I can assure you. He's just been dead for a week. Right, now we can actually penetrate into the damn room, whose floor refuses to let us through if we come up through the floor. Even though an object fell through the floor, right, and now he's been found dead, dehydrated, which is what we expected. Oh, the forgotten beast Ak-Uksu has come. A great hairy sauropod. It has a square shell and it is ravening. Its pale taupe hair is long and shaggy. Beware its webs. Right. What's that name?
Ooze of sweat.
Right, okay. Yes, the ooze of sweat. The ooze of sweat is in the caverns somewhere. I've already lost it. There. Moving fast. So we should raise the cavern drawbridge and probably hope there's no one down there. Don't think there should be anyone outside in the caverns. Like really, that drawbridge should have been raised anyway, but we're not that organised. Let's pull both levers. That way we have two dwarves trying to save things rather than one. So let's watch our forgotten beast as it heads quite rapidly towards the entrance to the fortress, but finds that the fortress has already closed before it got there, because we are quite quick too. Unlike a siege, it hasn't brought a pickaxe with it. So I don't know how long it's going to run around down there for. Being a great shelled sauropod, killing it is going to be a bit of an effort if we want to do that. But for now we have other things to do. Right, so we now have a bridge over the traps in the Barbican. So now we need a lever. Actually, have we run out of yes, mechanisms. Let's make more mechanisms. Why does this stockpile not have a wheelbarrow? It should have a wheelbarrow. Maybe it does and someone is off pushing the wheelbarrow, I suppose. No one seems to be storing any items in stockpiles at the moment. Right, we now have a coffin there which we can designate as a tiny little tomb. So that Uzol can be buried in it. Right, we've got at least one mechanism made, so we can install that in the kitchen, in the dining room. I think we should not be using dolomite for making mechanisms it's from, though. We don't have a shortage of non-flux stone, I don't think, yet. Indeed, we just dug out an enormous tunnel through fairly dull stone. We might be a bit short of bituminous coal, and we did just find, like, looks like a reasonably decent amount of it up here, so could try mining some of that. I want to pay some attention to what direction the tunnel turns out to go in. So that then wants to be linked to that bridge. Did that work? No. Oh, need accessible mechanisms is right. We'll make more mechanisms first then. Ouzol has been properly buried. Let us make sure that that his corpse is properly walled in as well. You've neatly moved a piece of gypsum into the tomb, so it will be persistently flashing between coffin and gypsum. I can't be bothered fixing that now. It isn't getting us very much bituminous coal. Still, some more coal is probably good, and this is like a fairly safe place to find it. In that this is officially outside the fortress for the most part, so yeah, apparently all those weapon traps have been assembled. Possibly someone is stuck down there. Yes, that's the thing we should do, isn't it? We should make it possible to get out of the area under the bridge, even if, I mean, while the bridge is down, because otherwise it's going to be quite complicated to get yourself out of it. I think we should have a means of getting up on this at this end. Like that. I also think that now that we have the bridge, all of those ramps should be removed so that it's only easy to get out via this end. Actually, let's make that high priority staircase. Tea. I mean, I think we must reach the end of this bituminous coal before we reach the outside world. But there is quite a lot of it. So I'm going to watch quite closely just in case something confusing happens. I mean, like, if the zombies keep falling out of trees and breaking their hands, then they may eventually cease being so scary. Let's also try that section, though this needs even more caution in case it connects up with this. But I think it's going to go off that way. Oh, careful, careful. That one's going to cause a problem, but let's keep them a decent distance away from the edge. Okay, yes, I think we should not go any deeper there. That was at least quite profitable mining. Right. We could go closer, I suppose, but kind of feeling a bit dubious about doing that kind of thing. Right, so we now have quite a few weapon traps in here, but the thing is that, and I'm actually going to remove the barbican from the accessible areas because I think that's actually the more sensible approach. So we could consider letting the zombies in and seeing whether those weapon traps you deal with them appropriately. Because the thing about zombies is they do have quite a lot of patience. So they may just like stay out there indefinitely, which would...
Put a bit of a crimp on trade and so forth.
Yes.
I was going to ask earlier whether you had any expectation that they'd eventually get bored and wander off.
Most sieges do. And I don't quite know after how long. But this one does seem to be taking its time. Okay, we currently have no spare bedrooms. We should make more bedrooms. So is our Forgotten Beast still around? Not visibly. Whether it's actually left the map is another matter. Our Blind Cave Ogre and Troglodyte are still there. So I suspect the Forgotten Beast's around somewhere. Right, so now we can tag 3 more bedrooms. Probably we could also install some cabinets as well to enhance the quality of people's bedrooms. We have got quite a lot of them.
I need a screen.
Right, that's all of the surviving bedrooms on that level cabineted. Trying to install the ones with the highest quality decorations first. Right, that's a lot of furniture to be installed. So, are we going to let them in? Have we got enough traps there, do we think? Will the zombies kind of mill around enough to get themselves mashed? There's probably only one way to find out. There don't seem to be many dwarves outside of the fortress proper now, so let's re-enable that burrow and assign everyone back into it again. Then we can start operating levers. So if we first operate inner drawbridge, then that lowers this drawbridge, making it impossible to get into the fortress. At that point we can check that we haven't locked anyone on the wrong side of it. Which I don't think we have. So then that lever, which needs a name, should be pulled in order to expose the traps. It's not only for wagons now, I come to think of it, because we've arranged it so that it's kind of necessary if you want to go through there at all. Did that lever get pulled? Yes, maybe it's in the wrong state. Maybe it's not properly linked. Looks like that lever doesn't work properly. No, it doesn't seem to be linked to anything. Oh, we ran out of mechanisms, didn't we? Yes, we have to link it first. That's going to be a bit difficult unless we pull the other lever to open the inner drawbridge again. It is pleasing watching the dwarves putting their mugs back in the stockpile where they're meant to be. Oh, have I need to pause that again so that people are allowed into the Barbican in order to link that bridge up. Burrows are kind of confusing like that. Anyone doing it yet? No. Just wandering around looking for tetrahedrite while we're waiting. Or malachite, but there's not much of that about either. So there's some reason why you can't link that bridge. There's a floor next to it, so I can't see why it would be difficult. You don't have a group of mechanics anyway. Let's just cancel that task and then relink it. Just in case. Right, okay, I think the job had somehow got marked as impossible and then thus no one was doing it. Right. So now re-enable that burrow. Quickly check that there isn't anyone obviously in the way. Pull the lever that closes it off. Hang on, what? It says it is linked. I'm going to assume that job cancellation was earlier. So let's now do a slightly more careful check that there isn't anyone on the wrong side of the Barbican. Looks good. So now if we pull this lever, possibly twice if it's in the wrong state, Right, it is now easy for the zombies to get at our traps and hard for them to get at anything else. So the only thing is if they decide not to come in, but I suppose if they do that, it's easy to lock them out. Like, oh, I suppose if they decide that the best place for them to be is to disappear along this corridor. Oh well, we'll find out, I think. Do I wall off that corridor? No, because I want to use it later. Do I door off that corridor somehow? Not that corridor, this corridor. Like if I stuck a floor grate up, yeah, let's do that. Make it slightly less likely they'll go the wrong way. I apologise for this extra complication while I work out what I want to do. So if we drop a hatch cover there, actually also quite tempting to put one in here, even though we don't really have a good use for it. Yes, well, the reason you don't have any silver is because we don't have any tetrahedrite. It's quite simple. Right, and then I can forbid those hatch covers, which will mean that will at least be necessary to demolish them before you can get past. I can't remember if they're building destroyers. Right, so now we pull that lever, which is like the official shut everyone inside the fortress again. Oh, insist that everyone must be inside the fortress as well. I don't think anyone immediately ran off to go and fetch some more bituminous coal, so I think we're okay. And then, yeah, there didn't seem to be anyone out there, so then we raise the inner drawbridge, not the inner drawbridge, raise the actual bridge, withdraw the floor from the barbican, like that. And then we boldly open the front gate and hope. Let's just open the narrow version of the front gate for now.
To boldly open gates that no dwarf has opened before.
No. Well, actually, strictly, yes, we haven't opened them before. We've closed them once. Right, let's see if that is enough to attract the attention of the zombies. And they smell that we've opened a door. Do they care about the fact that we've opened a door? Do we need to put something on the inside of that door to tempt them in? Have we got a spare kitten?
Golden has become the first K-pop song to win a Grammy.
That's nice, it's not a K-pop song.
That's what it says.
I mean, yes, in certain technical respects it is, but it's blatantly a Disney anthem. Right. Golden. Seb asks, what is... Sorry, Gareth mentioned that Golden has won a Grammy or something. It's the first K-pop song to have won a Grammy.
So the BBC says.
Yes.
It's also Netflix's most viewed movie of all time.
Well, they mostly do series, so
Do they?
I think. So whether that means the most viewed on Netflix or the most viewed by Netflix, I don't know. Right, so I don't think the zombies are finding this adequately tempting. So I think we may need to find a kitten for them. If we chain up a kitten in the Barbican, then I think that might help. So let's close the outer drawbridge again. Obviously, if one of them comes in while we're doing this, that we change our minds. For possible kitten safety, though, frankly, I doubt there will be much kitten safety. So the outer drawbridge is closed, and therefore it's safe for us to let people into the Barbican again. For possible kitten safety, I'm going to see if I'm allowed to... Am I allowed to install a chain there? No, I'm not. Well, maybe we make a small cupboard for a kitten. Because that way we would be allowed... That way we could keep the kitten above the drawbridge and shut the kitten in when the zombies start to get close to it. It might work. Wrong mode. Right, and then we could go... Let us install a fairly unexciting copper chain in there. And then attach a kitten to it. And then the theory is that we let the that will tempt the smell of the kitten will tempt the zombies in. I mean, we could go for a puppy instead, but I think I have other uses for puppies. The poor kitten feels guilty after being confined. Right, so there's now a stray kitten chained to that. So now we close the inner drawbridge. To exclude the kitten from the fortress. Oh, re-enable the burrow. I don't think anyone's gone out, but we'll have a look once the drawbridge is down. Drawbridge down. Yeah, no one on the wrong side of it. So now lower the wagon bridge and open the narrow outer drawbridge. Right. Kitten is now accessible to the zombies. Will they do anything about it? Hard to tell. They're wet. I'm slightly worrying that I'm about to run out of memory. Possibly catastrophically. Pop! Oh dear! Oh! You weren't meant to... Oh, you haven't exploded. Good. Right. I thought that... yes, we're having the usual X-Wayland is being awkward problem. Let's quickly save while this is happening and then we'll have another go. One day I'll work out what's going on here, but there are so many things to which I'm currently going. One day I'll work out what's going on here, including why is one of my bots on Wikimedia Commons not managing to find all of the uses of images that it should be able to find. Why, if I pick up my laptop the wrong way, does it crash? Why is there a puddle of water under my Land Rover? And so forth. Right, so we'll be back shortly. They still do seem to be just fairly randomly milling around. I mean, yes, they are zombies. Maybe we shouldn't expect too much of them. Oh no! Look, here are several of them apparently converging rather chaotically on the entrance, and then wandering off again. No, that looks deliberate. I think what I want to do... Please, come on, come inside. It's lovely in there. It's not full of weapon traps at all. So they're thinking about it. There's one trying to climb in. Look, there's a bridge. It's a perfectly good bridge. It's not at all narrow and over spikes. Like, I'm not actually planning...
I mean, presumably, you mentioned the notion of there being intelligent undead, which these ones are not.
Yes.
They might, in fact, be fools.
Like, yes, I would like you to fall off the bridge and onto the spikes, but I'm quite happy for you not to. This hatch has been officially taken by the invaders. Look, there's a bridge. Bridge. It's a nice bridge. It's made of bauxite. You came so close and then you leapt over the moat in order to escape. Is the bridge so narrow that zombies get scared of crossing it?
Yeah, it turned back.
Am I going to have to make the bridge wider? They've all wandered off again. I mean, I can lower the wide version of the bridge. If it will help. They're busy falling out of trees again and injuring their feet. Okay, well, if you're going to be like that, maybe I should lower the other half of the bridge to make it easy for you. Give you a nice wide entranceway. How do you feel about that?
I mean, you are after a very specific level of intelligence from these zombies. To be smart enough to be able to walk over the bridge and to recognise the tempting bait on the far side, but not smart enough to recognise that it's a trap.
Yes. I mean, here's a zombie climbing up and down the inside of the moat. Yes, I mean, invaders in general are not meant to detect traps until, like, the said traps have caused them injury. Oh, no, so close. I really don't understand how you're finding this so difficult, zombies. I'm going to have to, like, do some more serious defensive engineering so that I can get at you out there if you're not going to come in. They do seem quite scared of this bridge. They can get about halfway across and then they go, no, I'm turning back. Oh, right, a zombie has crossed the bridge. I'm going to close the outer drawbridge now and see if we can dispose of one zombie. No. Oh, right, it's stuck. We managed just barely to close the outer drawbridge with the zombie inside it. I'm going to leave the other bridge in place until the zombie is on it, and then we are going to try to raise it before the zombie can reach the kitten. Okay, the zombie is not actually very enthusiastically heading for the kitten, so Don't tell me you can see the traps. No. Right. One zombie dealt with. Probably.
What's the risk of them coming back?
I don't think they're going to come back to life because I don't think we're in a reviving environment.
They were created in a reviving environment and then came here.
But quite deliberately, most of the fortress is outside of the evil forest, which I don't think is a reviving environment anyway, because that kitten they killed has stayed dead. I think in particular, crushing a zombie's upper body is something it can't recover from. Right, so now we can undo those levers and see if we can get another one in. We have another strange mood in the offing. Oh, they've claimed a craftsdwarf's workshop. So we're... Oh no, that does mean we can get a mug, doesn't it? Let's just have a quick look at the zombie situation. Oh, here comes another one. Or maybe not. Right, that strange mood is going well. I mean, the zombies seem to be quite interested in the entrance to the fortress. Right, that will do. Once they get across the drawbridge, they might stay there. This one seems to be advancing purposefully towards the kitten, or maybe not. Right. We have managed to, I think, remove one of that zombie swords dwarf's hands by one of their fingers by simply hurling them into the air off that drawbridge. But of course, unlike a human, they're not, or unlike a living creature, they're not. They don't really care that they've lost a finger. I think while this description could perhaps be condensed a little, I think what this says is it's actually a bare skeleton in like your usual fantasy monster list thing. I suppose the fact that they can't see probably makes it a little harder for them to find the kitten. You just trod on that weapon trap and it didn't operate. Do I need to unjam it or something? Right. So that seems to have been another successful killing. Crushed head should be sufficient to keep them down. I mean, this siege has lasted quite a long time. Possibly we need to get a bit more efficient about this. I think that is just the one we'd seen already. Well, I'm slightly disappointed it's not another mug. Minkot Zonin Doc, peasant, who is still a peasant because they were possessed and thus didn't actually gain the skills from this making this artifact, has created Langan Sebsur Mostod, an elk bird bone figurine of Ngokang Lengthates. She offers it to the incidental fortification. Its name is the Tan Veil of Shaming. It is an elk bird bone figurine of Ngokang Lengthates. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. The item is a masterfully designed image of a Ngokang Lengthates, the cave dragon, and a blind cave ogre in elk bird bone by Minkot Zonendok. The blind cave ogre is striking down Ngokang Lengthates. The artwork relates to the killing of the cave dragon, Ngokang Lengthates, by a blind cave ogre in the Hills of Attacking in the winter of 123 during I can't do that. Kirk, the fierce assault. It is encrusted with round hematite cabochons, decorated with elk bird bone, and encircled with bands of cushioned mica cabochons and cushioned chert cabochons. Right, well, thank you. I'm not quite sure what to do with an elk bird bone figurine of a cave dragon.
hear you.
Well, that's a lovely big mob of zombies outside the front door.
No, maybe I should have said.
If only they could turn into a lovely big mob of zombies inside the front door. They do seem to be thinking about coming in together now. Just occasionally deciding to leap back outwards again. Maybe they just need to egg one another on a bit more. Go on. Accuse one another of being chicken or something.
Okay. I never use these maps much in the game because they're not very useful. Anyway, it turns out that if you know what to look for and if you know where the secret areas are, it doesn't actually show you the secret areas are. You may have to go and sit very close to the screen and look for oddities. Presumably spelled ODIDDIES. But yes. And I can now make sense of this level.
Oh, right, now let's try raising that inner bridge. Hope I've got there in time to save the kitten. But frankly, given the kind of random walk that these zombies do, I probably have. I think one of them was killed by the fall. Yes, the dwarf swords, dwarf corpses, lower body skids along the ground and the part collapses, which is enough to render it unable to move. Maybe these guys are softer than I was thinking, and I was being terribly scared of them. But
I mean, the fact that the initial message said hide while you still can suggested they were scary.
yes,
But possibly you shouldn't have believed it. So, how do you remember the first door I got to find this? Slightly. So, you start to over here, you run along about to go through the door, and then you were a bit in the background where you control some of the foreground and stuff. You can do that there. Then you come through here. There's a section here where there are some lines down there. That's the old panel beneath it. There's that wood opening essentially there. Then you go along here. Then you went on the lift for the first time to the slot room. Then you took a passageway with its paint. This bit here is the boxes hiding behind them. This long run here, I don't know, do you remember what it was? But this one here was on where there's the lift you take. And then here, you went along to the edge, you triggered the slip, you jumped onto that ledge, controlled it until you get to the end through the thing over there. Down here in the bottom, that's the door you couldn't open, the condemned door. That's where there was the slip in the thing. And there's the secret area you found, that's it. So, stuff like that. The secret area is showing that there's a very slight coloration in the wall with the door. There's a very slight coloration in the wall.
I mean, if they're going to hang around, if they're going to be delicate enough that dropping them 1Z level can kill them, maybe I should just keep raising and lowering the outer drawbridges. The spikes below them, some of them.
I always believed those maps were accurate. They just weren't useful because they're kind of underground type maps. There isn't enough detail on them to know what's coming up or find a way or whatever. No, but it's got pictures of the evidence and all the opens to collect in the main locations.
Right.
Those are the people who don't think it's updated. I believe so. I think so. And it doesn't show the secret, what's in the secret area, but it does secretly. It turns out shows the map, but it doesn't realise.
Yeah, okay, dropping them 3Z levels off the drawbridge is at least somewhat effective. This one seems quite determined. I think the cat is panicking now. Come on, pull the lever. Oh dear. The kitten got killed. We'll have to provide a new kitten. Right, if we're going to provide a new kitten, we want to be... We don't actually have a rubbish disposal system inside this fortress at the moment, do we? We should possibly try to set one up, because all these dead zombies, and indeed this dead kitten, are going to want somewhere to be disposed of. So I kind of feel the atom smasher we built in Keskaloka was quite effective, but it did depend on a windmill to drive a minecart that provided the timing signals for it, so that we could close a floor hatch above it while the bridge was raising, so that when the bridge raised and hurled rubbish in the air, it didn't come up through the floor hatch. I don't know if we can do that without a repeater, a minecart based repeater. You could have a go though. So I kind of feel that I want to do it as a shaft downwards from the kitchen layer. Kind of parallel to the well, really. Obviously, we should not dump the rubbish into the groundwater. I mean, we could, and it would stop it smelling, but better to crush it properly. But I wonder if we can do something adequate with a pressure plate at the entrance. So that essentially when a dwarf stands on that, it opens the floor hatch. Ideally it would open the floor hatch and lower the drawbridge, which I think is the direction that pressure plates work in. We'll give it a door to keep the miasma in if there is any. So if we were to do something like that, and then keep going downwards. Only don't do that one. So at this level we would put in a bridge, then where will we put the floor grate? Not floor grate, floor hatch. Do we put it right at the top? Is there some reason to put it lower down? Let's put it one level lower down, which kind of has the entertaining feature that we have to we have to actually enlarge the prepared meals stockpile a bit. But like, apparently we don't, I'm a little confused by our prepared meals situation, but presumably there's like a lot of them. Yeah, okay. You can store quite a lot of prepared meals in a single barrel. So that's how we've got 593 food, despite the tiny size of our stockpile. The zombies are still milling around out there, even though there is no kitten for them now. Right, so then we want to build a bridge that will raise that way there. We need to do some things with iron in order to get that hematite consumed. Maybe. Well, no, it'll get moved out of the way when the bridge is built, won't it? Then I think we want to put a floor hatch here. And a door here, and a pressure plate triggered by citizens. I don't think it matters whether what can trigger it. Like, we don't want it triggered by cats, but most of the animals we're going to see will be heavier than that, so let's just do it like that. People are going to encounter this, so we'll make it out of a... We haven't really got any very nice mechanisms anyway. Right. Let's put a wall here because it's dangerous down there. Oh, actually, no, don't put a wall there yet. Because we do actually need to link that bridge up to the pressure plate first, even though it will be a bit dangerous once that's done. We also want to link the pressure plate to that floor hatch. We are still letting the zombies in, but they don't seem to be very keen. So I think the kitten is an important part of this system. Right, so I think that pressure plate is now linked up. Now let's resume building that wall. Build a wall here as well. Okay, maybe that piece of hematite is going to get destroyed by this process, but like at least that's a good test. Right, and then we designate a rubbish dump here. So now let's close the outer drawbridges. And lower the wagon bridge so that we can get into the Barbican once we've opened the inner drawbridge. Outer drawbridge raised, check for surprise zombies. I don't think there are any. Open inner drawbridge. Mark kitten corpse for dumping. Oh, and turn off and pause the burrow so that you can actually get out there. Possibly I need to unmark and remark that for dumping. No, apparently there is a task to do it. There. Here is someone coming to dump the kitten corpse. Actually, we should probably be watching the corpse, but right. Stray kitten has been found dead. Yes, well done.
You've maybe only just found it, but we've known about it.
So the current situation is that the hatch is closed and the bridge is down. Dwarf treads on there, that immediately opens the hatch. Then they hurl the kitten down there. Bridge is still down. Kitten falls. Dwarf releases the button. It takes a little while for the pressure plate to release. It will change colour when it does. I think that was it releasing, maybe not. The other thing that will happen is that the the kitten is currently airborne, having been thrown in the air by that, but the floor hatch is still open, which means the kitten has now gone up another Z level. Kitten has gone up another Z level. Slammed into the ceiling. And he's falling again, and the floor hatch is still open. And now the floor hatch is closed. Yeah, the timing on that was not ideal. I don't think that floor hatch is going to do what I hoped it would do. But I'm fairly sure that bridge will crush things eventually. So we should, I think, now dispose of all of the bits of zombie down here. Which is slightly hard to see under the miasma. Right. Right. It has just occurred to me that now that, of course, I have sound, I can say palaneo is more or less correct. Right, so I've now asked the dwarves to please dispose of some more bits of rubbish. Meanwhile, the zombies are still busy falling out of trees. I mean, I think strictly I possibly made that a yo when it should have been an o or something like that, but so I think all these items are now marked for dumping, and we just need to wait for the dwarves to organise themselves in that direction. Oh, we need to unlock the floor hatch that allows them to get down underneath there, don't we? Yes. That's better. So now let's see how badly this rubbish dump works and think about whether we can make it work better. So can we do some kind of magic sequencing system? We can see objects occasionally getting hurled back up again. Mostly they don't seem to end up anywhere. In the past, I think, in Keskalokil, we kept ending up with them on the equivalent of that pressure plate there. They're hurled back up because the thing that we use to crush them is a drawbridge, which raises and lowers automatically based on dwarves treading on this pressure plate. But if they throw an object in while the drawbridge is in the lowered state, then it lands on top of the drawbridge, and when the drawbridge raises, it hurls the object up into the air. We want them, of course, ideally to land by the drawbridge in its raised state. So that it just comes down and splats them. But that doesn't actually appear to be going very badly wrong. Just objects sometimes end up in the wrong places. Like we now appear to have a corpse that's got stuck on top of the floor hatch, so it's going to need to be released again the next time something's disposed of, which unfortunately will be a little while because we've already... So let's also unforbid all of the items that the dwarves are wearing in case we have a use for them. Some of them at least we can store in our weapons stockpile. That looks like there's still something rotting down there. Can't find anything. What's that miasma coming from then? It's definitely spreading. There doesn't seem to be anything causing it anymore. Oh well. Maybe the miasma was there when something was removed. Right, no one wants that shirt. No, look, fresh miasma. Weird. Right, so now we can re-enable the I've forgotten the word. Burrow. Operate various levers and thereby allow the zombies back in again. See if we can dispose of a few more of them. Oh no, we need to install a new kitten first. It won't work without a kitten. Which means we need the burrow off. Fresh kitten. We don't have many kittens. Yeah, that square is still producing miasma. There's nothing in it, there's just a weapon trap, which still has a bit of dwarf in it. Right. Someone needs to clean that weapon trap. Can I just mark the corpse for dumping? Will that work? Doesn't look like it does, no. Right, kitten installed. Re-enable the burrow, not that it'll matter. Check, quick check that there doesn't seem to be any surprise dwarves around. let the zombies back into the Barbican and see if we can get a few more of them. There are still quite a lot of them out there. What I want is a way to have the kitten there such that they can detect it and try to come and kill it, but can't actually reach it. I suppose we could surround the kitten with weapon traps. Maybe I should actually have chained the kitten up below. See, the problem with surrounding the kitten with magma is that I think the zombies might understand that they can't cross that. They are weirdly unwilling to cross this bridge, aren't they? Like, they get close, but the bridge worries them. Rightly so, but still annoying. Damn it, I was hoping that would be some more kittens. Let us be keen and get the drawbridge, get that bridge up before the kitten gets killed, if we can. Possibly we need something more automated, like the old goblin drowning machine. That dealt with that zombie pretty swiftly. I did ask for the bridge to be lowered, didn't I? Yes. Oh, right, we have 2 stray dogs now. So we can mark them for war training for our other purposes. Hang on, I think I may have made a mistake with this kitten. This is our only entire male cat, I think. Which means it's going to be kind of critical to keeping up our cat population. I think we should put some of the less precious cats out there, rather than that one. As I think now we are actually in a we need bait situation. a few of those got hurt rather by being thrown off the bridge while I'm trying to say replace this kitten with something a little less precious. I mean, in the meantime, we'll mark that corpse for dumping as well. So let's then open the inner drawbridge. We'll deassign that kitten, and assign one of our stray adult cats instead. Right, good. The point of the war dogs is that I wanted to use them to scare off elk birds, so that we wouldn't end up with elk birds wandering around inside the fortress. Though admittedly, I suspect the forgotten beast may scare off the elk birds quite effectively. Well, we're compensating for our loss of dwarves. This siege has so far been a profit in dwarf numbers. I have turned off the burrow, yes. Oh, I haven't unforbidden that hatch, of course. Thought we may as well dispose of that corpse while we conveniently can. Seb says, how did you get more dwarves from the siege? Everyone stayed in and had children. We're up to 45 now. You have 2 new babies from during this siege. Now are you going to dump that item? No. That's passable. The burrow is paused. The burrow should be adjusted to add the 2 new dwarves to it. Okay, no one seems to be interested in dumping this corpse. Oh well. Oh no, someone is now. Good. I'd also like someone to clean that trap, but no one seems to want to do that. We may have to dismantle it to get the body out of it. But later. But if anyone wants that silver battle axe, you can come and get that as well. Right, that's everything cleared out of there, so we now ask dwarves not to try to do anything in the Barbican. Right, that bit of crushing of objects worked correctly. You're meant to be not doing anything in the Barbican. Get out. Thank you. Right, Inner lever. Safety check. Outer drawbridge. Now we have the usual wait for the dwarves to consider whether they want to, for the zombies to consider whether they're going to come in. Another thing I want to do actually is build more cage traps out here. So I think broadly speaking, oh yes, we need to open the inner drawbridge for that if we're going to do that. Because I think broadly speaking, we want a long run of cage traps there to catch anything that the war dogs don't discourage. And then probably the war dogs we want actually to be behind fortifications so that they so that they can scare things without actually being likely to be injured themselves. We have some puppies as well. We could use those if necessary, but as bait. Bits keep dropping off these skeletons. Oh, excellent. That means we now have cat breeding capability, which is... Oh, we did have one other male cat. Okay. Who had not been gelded. So we didn't actually need to carefully preserve that kitten, which is no longer a kitten anyway. The zombies are thinking about coming in again, but not doing so as keenly as I would like. Now that we've presumably opened the inner drawbridge again, we could start installing more cage traps down here, because I think that will be helpful. But I think we want more like 10 of them. So let's get some more mechanisms. No, not adamantine mechanisms. That would be silly. We don't have any. I am beginning to think that we probably want to start looking into siege engines at the entrance. Simply so that then when they wander past up here, as they are very prone to doing. But the thing is that what will work well for zombies will probably not work well for goblins. Still at the, they can make it halfway across the bridge stage. Like, it seems that once they've made it across the bridge, they're much more comfortable. It's just getting there that's difficult. So they're just milling around. I think I might want to... Ooh, incoming. Right, let's wait for it to set foot on the... inside bridge. No, not coming in apparently. I didn't think I needed to raise the outer bridges. I assumed once you were across it, you would not be so keen as to cross it back again. Huh. So kind of what I think we might need to do is to install, say, a bolt thrower, because I still want to make bolt throwers useful, in each of these corners or something. Though it's rendered a little bit difficult by someone having gone and built a staircase here. That can then cover this entrance. And then that might make it slightly easier to deal with. I mean, apparently that one still has some muscle. Might make it slightly easier to deal with extremely reluctant zombies. Seb says, if a bolt misses, is it destroyed? I think in most cases well, I think it depends on quite what happens to it thereafter. I think if it hits a wall and then falls, then no. Oh, is someone inside? Right, you've actually made it usefully in. Let's try to drop you onto the traps. So yes, we might have a bit of a problem of the sheer quantity of metal we need, especially if you're trying to kill zombies with crossbows. Using crossbows, I mean. That one took a lot of killing. Come on, there's 4 of you there. You can do it. Apparently not. I kind of feel that they're like, this is some kind of diffusion process, and they're just need to increase the partial pressure of zombies at the entrance. That's another one coming in, I think. Yes, right, that's good enough. Oops. There might be another one on the way. Yes, good. Getting a bit more efficient at this now. Notice that in the combat logs for each of these, they basically keep moving until you crush their head or their upper body. I mean, the process has been slow. The kitten grew up. I mean, it wasn't admittedly this kitten, but zombies are just too reluctant to come into the fortress. Seb asks, what happened to the various caravans? I think they all refuse to come while there's officially a siege on, which is kind of sensible. But it would be nice thus if we could get this siege disposed of. Oh yes, one of them was inside. Yeah, we might want to work out what's happened to them. I don't know what's happened to them. I can't see them. Maybe they left through the caverns. Like the caverns were open at the time. I think they must have left through the caverns. On which subject we've probably got some more mechanisms is now. Oh, yes, we need to allow the dwarves far enough into the caverns to build those traps at all. Since it's safe to not try to constrain where the dwarves are at the moment. I think it is possible for caravans to leave through the caverns. So the zombies are out there getting covered in snow, but still being fairly reluctant to enter the fortress. Here comes another one. No, it's gone back again. Oh, considering it maybe, not sure. I think that, oh, that hatch has been taken by the invaders, but that zombie appears to be like stationary there now. Oh, well, we'll lower the bridge and try to get another one in. Right, so those cage traps are almost all installed. So they will need loading with cages. We might be a bit short of cages, and we are a bit short of copper. Is that zombie actually going to do something useful, or just mill around that staircase? Now wandering around the traps down there and not triggering them, which is kind of annoying. Right. That's another death. Whatever it is you do to a zombie. Destruction. Well, yes, so it's after midnight and things are progressing slowly with this siege, and we completely failed to save the person we were trying to save. I kind of feel... Oh look, it's a new thing. That what we're going to want, new season, what we're going to want to do now is to try to take the fight to the zombies a bit more. Possibly by setting up some siege engines, I don't know. But I think that will not be a job for tonight. So I think once we've had this autosave, I will then do a manual save. And where's the cat gone? I think the drawbridge may have evaporated the cat. That's annoying. So we'll have to find a replacement. So yes, we will attempt some slightly more vigorous attacks on these zombies, though possibly not by sending the army out to hit them with sticks. But for now, I think it's time for me to say goodnight. So save, and say goodnight. Good night.